Hey, my name is Farah Firdos. Today is Saturday, October 15, 2022 at about 9 a.m. And today I will share with you two short stories and nine essays, all written by me. The two short stories are called That Party Last Night and A Guy Took My Cell Phone and Ran Away. And the nine essays are about having memories, strangers, memory being triggered, living life in problems, being hurt by others, crazy behaviors, the power of doing things, nothing is perfect, being mentally unstable, is your loss in life, the life that humans created for Farah Firdos, etc. Here's the first short story, alright? That Party Last Night by Farah Firdos, written on Saturday, February 2, 2019. She goes to the party. She's so excited. Her name is Kushi. Kushi enters the penthouse in NYC. There she looks at the skyscrapers and sees that it looks so pretty. It opens up her mind. She thinks of all the things that happened to her over the past 7 years. Then she sees all her friends. She gets so happy. These are all people who also are attending the party. Of course, the party is for anyone who signs up and attends as long as they have a ticket, so that is what brings them all together and makes them friends. She looks at how they are so happy and healthy. Then she sits down in the corner to enjoy the party even more. The music sounds so nice. Wow, she cannot stop laughing. The view outside is still lovely from where she is sitting. She did not have her danger conscience turned on. She was just having a lot of fun in this party with other strangers. She gets up to get food because it was served. There were no sandwiches, she realized. But Kushi was happy to get the last bit of fries that was left, and ketchup is what she used to eat it. But she could not finish her fries and thought, how uncool is that? She could not finish her fries unhappily because Prem, the host of the party, a NYC gentleman, told her that, "Excuse me, this party is by invite only, alright?" Kushi then left. She was giggling, chuckling, and felt embarrassed, but could not help think how sexy Prem was, but she was all right. So that was the first short story that I wanted to share with you called That Party Last Night. And now I will share 9 essays with you, starting with an essay talking a little bit about human memory. Here's the first essay, alright? Memory Being Triggered by Farah Firdos, written on Saturday, January 1, 2022. Anytime humans encounter something, it has the possibility of triggering a memory in them. For example, you hear the name Farah being said in your auditory field, and that may trigger you to think of faraway places because the name Farah has the word far in it. This may make you become mentally unstable as well. It is possible for a human to become mentally unstable when his memory is triggered as he encounters a stimuli. You see, anything you come across in life, it has a correct response and an incorrect response. The name Farah is just a name. There is no connection between the name Farah and faraway places. The correct response to hearing the name Farah is no response. The incorrect response to hearing the name Farah is to think of faraway places. And the same goes for anything and everything that you face in life. You will become mentally unstable if you let any stimuli you come across trigger memory in you. That is because when a stimuli you encounter triggers memory in you, you are under hypnotism by that stimuli. The memory being triggered is not real. You create it in your head. Hence, it is man-made. To stay in reality and to continue to function as a normal human, you must not let any stimuli you encounter to trigger any type of memory in you. The name Farah is just a name. The name Farah has no connection to faraway places. If you think of faraway places, you just became mentally unstable. When you encounter any stimuli, you must not let it trigger memory in you. That way, you will stay mentally stable. Otherwise, if you let stimuli you encounter trigger memory in you, after some time, you will become psychotic. You will become mentally unstable. You will suffer in a fantasy world instead of enjoying life in reality. Think about the stimuli you encounter. Do not let yourself automatically respond. Once you think about the stimuli, you will come to your senses and to reality and realize Pharaoh is just a name, no connection to faraway places. The name Pharaoh is just playing a trick on you. That is all. In other words, the name Pharaoh hypnotized you into your memory being triggered. Whenever you come across any stimuli, your head sometimes may make meaning out of it, but none of it is real. Think about it. The color red could trigger you to think of love one day and war the next. So which meaning of the color red is real? Love or war? None. There is no meaning in the color red. It is just a color, no connection to love or war, really. Sometimes things get very nasty. Humans experience something and it triggers intense memory in them. And this may cause the human to respond mentally and physically. Thinking may become impaired. You may get a mind block, etc. Also, you may get anxious, angry. You may start breathing faster, etc. None of this is real. You are creating all these types of meaning in your head. There is nothing there. Wake up to reality. You are simply under hypnotism. Unfortunately, humans sometimes become very psychotic and respond to stimuli that triggers memory in him. Clearly, memory being triggered is a problem for humans, so what are the solutions? How should you manage this kind of stimuli? How should you cope? And how should you respond? First, the correct response usually is no response. You are supposed to focus on yourself, not on stimuli in your environment. Second, you must not think of anything when you encounter things. The correct response here is no response. You have to learn to see things for what they are and not let things you encounter trigger memory in your head. Alright? So that was the first essay that I wanted to share with you called Memory Being Triggered. And now I will share another essay with you talking a little bit about why it is good to do things with your time. Here's the second essay, alright? The Power of Doing Things by Farah Firdaus, written on Friday, January 29, 2021. There is the power of doing things. The more you do, the more you empower yourself. You can sleep the day away, or you can pick up a book and read it. If you read a book, you're better off. Mariam woke up in the morning. She was tired and wanted to sleep the day away, but she saw an interesting book and started reading it. Then ideas came in her head, such as how she realized she had an appointment that day at 12 p.m. Also, she realized she did not eat food or drink water yet that day, so she ate food, drank water, and started to get ready for her appointment. This is the power of doing things. If Mariam did not do things such as read the book and instead sleep the day away, she would not empower herself by doing other things, such as eating, drinking, and going to her appointment. She would not even know she had an appointment. Every time you do something, you will get something good out of it, guaranteed 100%. That is why it is good to keep yourself busy doing things at all times, except when you are resting. That way you are empowering yourself, that way you are achieving goals, that way you are becoming more and more successful. That way you know what to do in life, how to take care of yourself, how to fulfill your responsibilities, etc. Every time you do something, you get something good out of it, and that is each and every single time. You read a book, you get better at reading. You do your laundry and you realize that it is winter season right now because your clothes you are washing is for winter. This may lead you to preparing for winter season, such as stocking up on food in case there is a big snowstorm. Or you look at your to-do list and you realize you have to call the tailor that day because she is making your dress. If you do not do things, how will you get ideas in your head, such as you need to stock up on food in case there is a big snowstorm, or realize things such as you have to call the tailor that day who is making your dress? Hence the power of doing things. Furthermore, doing things prepares you for the future. Yet another reason there is the power of doing things. When you do things such as look at your to-do list, you know what things you have to do in the future. When you do things such as read books, you get better at reading. And if you have a reading test, you will do better because you read books in the past. Also, if you do things such as plan for the future, you will have a more secure future. You will have times when you will not want to do things. You will feel lazy, tired, despair, etc. You will have the urge to sleep the day away. In these times, you will have the urge to sleep the day away. In these times, you should do the opposite of what you feel like doing. So if you feel like sleeping the day away, do the opposite. Get up and do things. Do anything as long as it is good. Read a book, eat something, drink some water, etc. That way you are empowering yourself instead of becoming a failure in life. Think about it. If you sleep the day away, is that a successful life? No. However, doing things can lead to a successful life. If not 100%, but you are more successful in life when you do things relative to when you do nothing. It is okay if you do not always realize that there is the power of doing things. It is okay if you sometimes forget. Of course, it is common sense that you empower yourself when you do things. However, humans fall into specific mental states sometimes in which even things that are common sense is not in their consciousness and awareness. For example, humans forget you should do things and that it is good to when they're sad, when they fall into despair, when they have fatigue, etc. Always do things instead of just laying somewhere and doing nothing. Even if you do not want to do things because you are sad, do the opposite and do things. That way you're empowering yourself. So that was the second essay that I wanted to share with you, called The Power of Doing Things. And now I will share another essay with you talking a little bit about how being mentally unstable is bad for you instead of being good for you. Here's the third essay, all right? Being mentally unstable is not a solution to your problems, but a problem itself, by Farah Firdaus, written on Wednesday, August 12, 2020. Being mentally unstable is not a solution to your problems, but a problem itself. I understand you feel angry at the world for not getting what you want. But feeling angry, this mental state, is not good for you. It's bad. It's not going to solve your problems, but it is a problem itself. The correct behavior is to stay happy, relaxed, calm, and alert at all times. And if you have a problem, solve it. Feeling anxious, upset, sad, and frustrated are problems themselves, like your husband cheating on you is a problem. The goal is to stay happy at all times and solve problems in your life. As you are living your life, you are not supposed to be mentally unstable. What is a mentally unstable state? A mentally unstable state is being sad, absent-minded, anxious, restless, etc. Besides, a mentally unstable state is being in these kinds of negative states, basically, and it's the wrong way to be. As you are living your life, you are supposed to be in a mentally stable state. What is a mentally stable state? A mentally stable state is being happy, alert, calm, relaxed, etc. Basically, a mentally stable state is being in these kinds of positive states. Being mentally stable is the right way to be. Why is being mentally unstable bad? Why is being sad bad? Why should you be mentally stable every second passing by? Why should you be happy every second passing by? Because being sad is a problem itself, not a solution to your problems. Often when we have a problem, we get sad, angry, etc. We fall into a mentally unstable state. However, being sad is not going to make the problem go away. The problem is still there. It is when you solve the problem, is when the problem is gone. So, being sad does not do you any good, but only bad. That is because not only is being sad not going to make your problem go away, it is a problem itself. Being sad is the incorrect mental state to be in. Just like becoming obese is a problem, being sad is a problem. When you become obese, you have a problem to solve. Losing weight is the solution. When you become sad, you have a problem to solve. Being happy is the solution. So the next time you have a problem, solve it. Do not respond to it by doing things such as cry. Do not internalize it, meaning let it sink in your body and let it influence your mental state. Do not get emotional about it, such as get angry. Every time you confront a problem, simply brainstorm solutions and put them into action. That is the only response you should produce, nothing else. When you have a problem, do not get sad, angry, cry, scream, yell, throw things, get frustrated, panic, go in shock, etc. Simply solve the problem, do nothing else, do not get sad, just solve the problem in a happy mental state. For example, if the problem you encounter is that you spill green tea on your t-shirt, then solve it by washing your t-shirt. That is the only response you should produce. You should not get sad, angry, frustrated, etc. Because these mental states of sadness and anger are problems themselves, just like spilling green tea on your t-shirt is a problem. If you react by getting frustrated, let's say, you have to then solve that problem too, which is being in this negative mental state, frustration. You see, when you get mentally unstable, such as get sad for having problems is your hypnotist that hypnotizes you into being sad. There is no connection between your mental state and the problems you face in life. Your mental state and your problems are two separate things. The correct mental state is to be happy at all times, not sad ever. The correct reaction to encountering a problem is to solve it, not get sad about it. The only reason you produce sadness when faced with problems is because you just got hypnotized by the problem. The sadness you feel is not real, it is created in your head, it is fake. Do not let having a problem get you by getting sad. When you are sad, you are in a hypnotic state. Don't get sad when you have a problem, stay happy at all times. And if you have a problem, do nothing else but simply solve it. Don't let having a problem hypnotize you. Everything is still the same. Everything still holds. 1 plus 1 is still 2. Having a problem doesn't change 1 plus 1 into being 3. Meaning, life goes on with or without problems. When you have a problem, continue living life the same way you have been and simply solve the problem. If you get mentally unstable for having problems, such as falling into depression at any point in time throughout your life, it's a problem itself that you then must solve. Think about it. Don't people get treatment for depression? Yes. Why? Because depression is a problem in which treatment is the solution. But why are you being depressed? Being depressed is not a solution to your problems at all. And worse, it is a problem itself. When you're depressed, you are extremely sad. You do not do many activities, etc. Are these good states to be in? No. That is why the correct thing to do when you have a problem is to solve it in a happy mental state, alright? So that was the third essay that I wanted to share with you, called Being Mentally Unstable is Not a Solution to Your Problems, but a Problem Itself. And now I will share another essay with you talking a little bit about having the urge to be crazy when something negative happens to you. Here's the fourth essay, alright? Being hurt by others makes you have the urge to produce crazy behaviors, by Farah Firdaus, written on Friday, January 21, 2022. When humans are feeling down, they may have the urge to eat food, junk food, to feel better. When humans feel depressed, they may have the urge to sleep the day away. Sometimes humans have the urge to eat food just because it tastes good, even after eating a meal. Other times, humans have the urge to laugh out loud in public when they see cute babies. Humans even have the urge to talk out loud to themselves in public when they see movements or a beautiful girl. When humans are hurt by others or something negative happens to them, they may have the urge to produce crazy behaviors. Humans are a mixture of good and bad. They love you but hurt you too. That is the fact. Humans will be honest with you sometimes and lie to you other times, and that is the fact. Being hurt by humans is inevitable. Similarly, life is a mixture of good and bad. You will have good times but bad times too. That is the fact. You may get a good job and fall sick the next day, and that is the fact. Negative events in life are inevitable. Now, the natural bad of life may cause you to have the urge to produce crazy behaviors. An urge is when you have a big desire for something, and crazy behaviors are behaviors such as picking your nose, farting in public, lying, etc. When humans are hurt by others or something negative happens to them, they may have the urge to produce crazy behaviors. For example, if your friend lies to you, it hurts your feelings, it makes you sad and angry. The sadness and anger cause you to become mentally unstable. This state of being mentally unstable causes you to then produce crazy behaviors such as to pick your nose, not care about yourself, not care about the actions you produce, lie, steal, cheat, get physically violent with others, etc. Humans have the urge to produce these kinds of crazy behaviors because they are automatically reacting to being hurt instead of thinking and analyzing the negative event first and then responding. When humans hurt you or something negative happens to you, you may have the urge to produce crazy behaviors. However, one must not fulfill this urge. Think things through, evaluate, don't automatically respond. Just because humans are being bad to you or negative things are happening to you, that does not mean you should start acting crazy. You may have the urge to produce crazy behaviors. However, you are not supposed to fulfill that urge. You are not supposed to go into a mentally unstable state either. You are supposed to continue to stay mentally stable. So, clean your nose with a napkin. Care about yourself, care about the actions you produce, be honest, be loyal, be peaceful with others, etc. But how are you supposed to stay mentally stable even when humans hurt you or something negative happens to you? Well, there is a way. It is possible. First of all, don't fulfill the urge to produce crazy behaviors when someone hurts you or something negative happens to you. And second, one way to prevent these crazy behaviors, such as lying and cheating, is to distract by participating in an activity. There are various types of activities you may participate in, such as watching a movie, reading a book, listening to music, writing in your journal, etc. Participating in an activity will take your mind off from humans who hurt you or the negative thing that happened to you. Participating in an activity will also allow you to resist the urge to produce crazy behaviors when humans hurt you or something negative happens to you. So, when humans hurt you or something negative happens to you and you have the urge to produce crazy behaviors, participating in an activity is one way to stay mentally stable. And the goal is to stay mentally stable. The goal is to not produce crazy behaviors. Think about it. If humans hurt you or something negative happens to you and you get the urge to produce crazy behaviors, why should you fulfill this urge? How will fulfilling this urge you get to produce crazy behaviors help? So let's say you fulfill the urge to produce crazy behaviors and lie. Will that make the humans who hurt you love you? No. So why bother get that way? You are better off to simply not fulfill the urge to produce crazy behaviors when humans hurt you or something negative happens to you. When humans hurt you or something negative happens to you and you get the urge to produce crazy behaviors, you are not supposed to fulfill this urge and continue to stay mentally stable and label the humans who hurt you or the negative thing that happened to you a problem and solve that problem. That is the correct response. So if someone lied to you, confront that person and ask the person to be honest with you. If the person is not honest with you, discontinue being that person's friend. Producing these types of behaviors will help, so you should produce these types of behaviors. There's nothing good you will get out of producing crazy behaviors, so don't bother getting that way. Actually, if you will get anything, you will get more bad. Just like people hurt you and negative things happen to you, which was hurtful and harmful to you, producing crazy behaviors as a result will just hurt you and harm you more. So stay in control of yourself and the actions you produce. Control yourself. Don't let the urge to produce crazy behaviors when someone hurts you or something negative happens to you control you. And don't let negative things bring you down. Stay optimistic and positive even at times of hardships and obstacles. Another way to prevent yourself from producing crazy behaviors when humans hurt you or something negative happens to you is to think about your character. Think about it. If you produce crazy behaviors, what does that make you? Crazy. And is that what you want to be? A crazy person or a normal person? Of course, normal. So when humans hurt you or something negative happens to you and you have the urge to produce crazy behaviors, tell yourself that it will destroy your character. That should prevent you from being a crazy human. There are various kinds of urges humans have. One of them is producing crazy behaviors when he is hurt by humans or something negative happens to him. However, one must not fulfill that urge. That is because it is wrong fulfilling that urge because it puts you in a bad mental state. Instead, one must continue to be mentally stable. For example, to stay in a good mental state, you may distract yourself by participating in an activity such as playing the violin when the urge to produce crazy behaviors come when a human hurts you or something negative happens to you. Additionally, you may tell yourself it will destroy character to produce crazy behaviors, which will prevent you from fulfilling this urge to produce crazy behaviors when a human hurts you or something negative happens to you. When humans hurt you or something negative happens to you, you will automatically and naturally have the urge to produce crazy behaviors, but don't fulfill this urge. So that was the fourth essay that I wanted to share with you called Being Hurt by Others Makes You Have the Urge to Produce Crazy Behaviors. And now I will share another essay with you talking a little bit about strangers. Here's the fifth essay, alright? Strangers by Farah Firdaus. Written on Tuesday, August 30, 2022. A stranger is an unknown person. You are not supposed to talk to them. As people say, don't talk to strangers. That is because it is dangerous to talk to strangers. Strangers may ask you questions such as, what country are you from? Or, want to have coffee together? You should always ignore, disengage, or reject a stranger. That is because you don't know who this person is. This human in front of you, a stranger, may be a beautiful girl, a sexy boy, or transgender, gay, lesbian, a criminal, or may even have AIDS or be mentally unstable. You don't know is the case. So you don't know. Since you don't know, there's no information to base your actions on towards strangers. Lack of information of a stranger is why you are not able to respond to a stranger. In your life, you are not supposed to judge by looks or titles. You are supposed to judge by actions. When you have a stranger in front of you, the only things you have are titles and looks, not actions. So on what basis are you making your judgment? Are you basing your judgment on titles and looks? Yes. Well, then your judgment of that stranger will be wrong. That is because looks and titles have no meaning. Only actions have meaning. And you are supposed to judge by actions. Since you don't have any actions to judge a stranger by, you are not able to judge a stranger at all. Yet another reason why you are supposed to ignore a stranger. When you ignore strangers, they may get angry. They may negatively reinforce you not talking to them. But that does not change a stranger to a known person. Don't fall for the negative treatment. Meaning, a stranger treats you bad for not talking to her. If a stranger treats you bad for not talking to her, don't start talking to her. She's still a stranger, still an unknown person. Punishment for not talking to her does not convert her into a person you know. Chandigarh Kare Ashiki is an Indian Hindi language romantic comedy film released in 2021. In this movie, a guy falls in love with a girl who's a stranger. He falls in love with her because he thinks that she's a beautiful girl. Then after having sex with her, she confesses to him that she is actually a trans girl. This shocks him and negatively affects him for some time. He is in disbelief when he finds out she is a trans girl. He is also disgusted. And it does not help when his neighborhood folks make fun of him when they find out he fell in love with a trans girl since he thought she's a beautiful girl. Unfortunately, he destroys his life partly all for talking to a stranger, all for judging a stranger by her looks and title, and all for not ignoring her. This is one example of how strangers may destroy your life. There are other examples too. You must be careful to not interact with strangers. You must not talk to strangers or do things with them. This is because strangers may destroy your life, just like in the movie Chandigarh Kar Ashiki. Then when your life is destroyed by a stranger, it'll be too late to change things for the better by intervening. When you are better off to not talk to strangers from the very beginning. That way you will prevent them from hurting you at all. Also, I want to point out a fact of life. The fact is, strangers change. Everywhere you go, you don't see the same strangers over and over. Strangers come and go, come and go. It's almost never the case that you will see the same stranger again and again, day after day. For example, when you take a bus, you will ride it with other strangers. When you take the same bus the next day, it usually is the case that you will never see the strangers you took the bus with yesterday. Hence, strangers come and go, come and go. You usually don't see the same strangers over and over. Yet another fact of life is that you will not experience strangers getting old as you do with family members, since you usually never see the same stranger after one time. You experience family members getting old because you see them every day. But with strangers, you don't see them after one time usually, so you don't experience strangers getting old. Overall, it may be said that one must not talk to a stranger. Lack of information about her is why. Keep yourself safe around strangers by ignoring them, alright? So that was the 5th essay that I wanted to share with you called Strangers. And now I will share another essay with you talking a little bit about how everything is a mixture of good and bad. Here's the 6th essay, alright? All the billion plus things that exist in this world are not perfect by Farah Firdaus. Written on Sunday, November 15, 2020. There are billion plus things in this world, and each one is not perfect. Every single thing is a mixture of good and bad. Perfection doesn't exist. When the bad comes in anything that you do, which it will, since everything is a mixture of good and bad, one must endure the pain. Pain is a part of life, can't escape, can't avoid, must endure. Some examples of the billion plus things that exist in this world are life, relationships, and humans. Life is not perfect. Life is a mixture of good and bad. Relationships are not perfect. Relationships are a mixture of good and bad. Humans are not perfect. Humans are a mixture of good and bad. Relationships are not perfect. Relationships are a mixture of good and bad. Sometimes you will have good times in your relationships. Sometimes you will have bad times in relationships. That is what naturally happens in relationships and all relationships. Just like the sun going up and down every day is natural, and just like it is a fact that 1 plus 1 is 2, it is a fact that relationships are a mixture of good and bad. You will never have a single relationship that is perfect, that is 100% good. However, in reality, you can have a relationship that is 50% good and 50% bad, or a relationship that is 30% good and 70% bad, and so on. You have to endure the bad that is naturally there. Can't escape the bad, can't avoid the bad, must endure. But the bad will pass and the good will come. So relationships are good, bad, and it keeps going on like that. It is never the case that relationships are good, or bad, bad. Relationships are always a mixture of good and bad. It is how you manage the bad in creative and intelligent ways is what counts. When your relationship is going good, you will enjoy it. You can choose to deal with the good in creative and intelligent ways, or you can choose to do nothing about it. The same holds true for the bad in relationships, except it is the opposite. You will not enjoy the bad in relationships. However, you should deal with the bad in creative and intelligent ways. You can write an essay about the bad. You can turn the bad into a story and type it up. You can talk to your therapist. You can do so much. The only difference is that it is pain as opposed to pleasure. But it is still a part of relationships. If you want a relationship, you must endure the bad. If you want the relationship to continue, you must endure the bad times. The bad times may be painful, but one must endure this pain, for it is a natural part of relationships. Just like the sun going down every day is natural, and it's a natural part of the way the sun functions, relationships sometimes have bad naturally. Just like 1 plus 0 is 1, it is a fact that relationships are sometimes bad. It is not the case that having a relationship is a bad thing to do, such as lying, drinking alcohol, or smoking cigarettes are bad things to do. Just because relationships have pain does not mean it is bad to have one. It is actually good to have a relationship. The bad is a part of a relationship, and that is not bad for you. You're experiencing a relationship. Even this bad is okay, because it is still the case that you're experiencing a relationship. That is just what a relationship is like, sometimes good and sometimes bad. If you can manage the bad in creative and intelligent ways, go ahead and try. If you can manage the bad in creative and intelligent ways, you will always be all right. Another thing that is one thing out of the billion plus things in this world is the human race. Humans are not perfect either, just like relationships. Humans are sometimes good, sometimes bad. When you encounter humans, they'll be good to you 50% of the time and bad to you 50% of the time. Or they will be good to you 80% of the time and bad to you 20% of the time, and so on. The percentages may vary. So when you encounter humans, expect them to be good to you and bad to you. That is just what humans are like naturally. Like sun going up every day is natural. Humans are a mixture of good and bad is natural. Like 9 plus 10 is 19 is a fact. Humans will love you some and hurt you some is a fact. When humans are good to you, you like it. But when humans are bad to you, you don't like it. But try to escape the bad, you can't. It'll always be there. You have to endure the pain, whether you like it or not. You can manage this pain in creative and intelligent ways if you choose to. You can write a poem about your bad experience with the human at hand. You can take a picture of you in pain to express what pain looks like. You can meditate. Every time a human is bad to you, which is natural, you can reward yourself with something you like, such as wear a sari, or turn being hurt into something positive. To turn being hurt into something positive. You can do so much. Then there is another thing out of the billion and more things that exist in this world, and that is life. Human life is a mixture of good and bad, just like relationships and humans. It is not always good or always bad. Human life is sometimes good and sometimes bad. Human life is sometimes pleasurable and sometimes painful. The same rules apply as stated for relationships and humans. Actually, the same rules apply for all of the billion and more things in this world. Everything in life is a mixture of good and bad. You will be in pain sometimes and pleasure other times. You will not always be in pain or always in pleasure, but a mixture of both. That's just how life is naturally. Come out of your fantasy world, which is perfect, and face the real world, which is a mixture of good and bad. Alright? So that was the 6th essay that I wanted to share with you, called All the Billion Plus Things That Exist in This World Are Not Perfect. And now I'll share another essay with you, talking a little bit about having problems. Here is the 7th essay, alright? Living Life and Problems by Farah Firdaus. written on Saturday, July 30, 2022. Life is made up of many parts. Many different parts of life make up the whole life, such as food, water, family, etc. Problems are one of these many parts of life. Problems are part of life, and that is a fact. Also, problems make up a part of life, not the whole life, and that is a fact too. All humans face problems sometimes as they're living their lives. Problems are a part of life. Problems are inevitable. As long as you're alive, you will face problems sometimes. It is how you deal with your problems that counts. It is a fact that problems are a part of life and are inevitable. However, you have the power over how you handle your problems. When you encounter a problem as you're living your life, live life the same way you have been living before the problem ever started. You must not change your life when you encounter a problem. That is because facts don't change. Facts don't change when you encounter a problem. You must eat food, drink water every day. These are facts. 1 plus 1 is 2, and that's a fact. If facts don't change when you encounter a problem, then you must not change either because you encountered a problem. Even if you have a problem, you must continue to eat food and drink water. When you encounter a problem, do not respond. Do not respond by doing things such as cry, go in shock, get angry, get frustrated, etc. Live life the same way you have been living instead of responding to your problems. When you encounter a problem, simply solve that problem. Do not do anything else. Just brainstorm solutions to your problem and put them into action. Some humans are not so good at handling problems. Some humans, when faced with a problem, get depressed, stop eating food, sleep for many days, etc. Some humans shut down when they are faced with a problem. But remember, life does not pause or stop when you encounter a problem. Life is a continuing process. It keeps going. It never stops. And that is a fact. So even if you have a problem, you must continue on with your life. You must keep living and keep doing the same things you were doing before the problem ever started, such as eating lunch, and not pause or stop living for some time. It is important to add also 2 things that make it difficult for humans to function when faced with a problem. 2 very important things that make it difficult for humans to function when faced with a problem are a human's mental state and other humans in their life. Being mentally unstable for having a problem is one reason why it is difficult to function when a human encounters a problem. Let's say you encounter a problem today. If you let the problem affect you negatively, you will become mentally unstable. When you encounter your problem, if you immediately respond by going in shock, let's say, then you will become mentally unstable. Going in shock will hinder you from functioning well in life. You might skip eating food, drinking water, taking care of yourself, etc. When you are faced with a problem, you must not become mentally unstable. When you encounter a problem, do not respond. Do not go in shock, for example. You should simply solve your problem and continue living life the same way you have been living before you came across your problem. Another important reason why it is difficult to function when a human encounters a problem is because of other humans in his life. When a human encounters a problem, other humans in his life may respond. Sometimes humans respond to your problem in a way that is good for you. For example, when you encounter a problem, humans may show sympathy, kindness, give advice, help you get through your problem, give you solutions to your problem, etc. However, not all humans help you when you're faced with a problem. Some humans respond to your problems in a way that is bad for you. For example, when you have a problem, humans may laugh at you, bully you, hurt you, even if you did nothing wrong to them, give you dirty looks, etc. Some humans will not treat you nice as soon as you are faced with a problem. Some humans have the tendency to treat you bad when you are faced with a problem. It could be because these humans are ignorant, uneducated, lack understanding of life, are mentally sick, etc. When humans treat you bad as soon as you're faced with a problem, You must label this a problem itself that you must then solve. That should be a response. Do not stop functioning well in life when humans treat you bad for having a problem. That kind of a response is incorrect. You must continue living life the same way you have been living, even when humans treat you bad for having a problem. Additionally, hypnotism comes into play when discussing living life and problems. Problems are a hypnotist. When a human encounters a problem, he goes under hypnotism. He becomes brainwashed and tricked by his problem. Moreover, he goes into a hypnotic state that is negative, not positive. Problems are able to hypnotize a human, just like a beautiful girl is able to hypnotize a human, or just like getting a gift is capable of hypnotizing a human. You see, when you get a gift from someone, you get hypnotized into feeling as if the person who gave you the gift is trustworthy. This is hypnotism in which you are feeling something positive. However, a gift does not equate to trust, yet your head feels that. The reason being the gift hypnotized you. Just like that, when you have a problem, the problem hypnotizes you into feeling negative things such as sadness, anger, etc. However, this sadness is not real. Having a problem does not mean life is full of sadness. Yet you feel that in your head because the problem hypnotized you. When you have a problem, don't go under hypnotism, stay in reality. When a human has a problem, life goes on the same way it has been going on before he encountered his problem. Do not respond when you have a problem. Simply brainstorm solutions and put them into action, alright? So that was the 7th essay that I wanted to share with you called Living Life and Problems. And now I will share another essay with you talking a little bit about the man-made life that humans made up for me. Here's the 8th essay, alright? The Life That Humans Created for Farah Firdos by Farah Firdos, written on Saturday, February 16, 2019. There's a life that humans created for me. It is a man-made life. It does not exist. I feel like it is my psychotic side that is active. I do not want to live it. This man-made life humans made up for me. I believe the life that humans created for me will cause my psychotic side to come out instead of my normal side. Humans encourage me to do things that are crazy, such as lie or judge by looks instead of actions. I do not like this man-made identity. It is highly disturbing for me. That is because it is my psychotic side. I want to create my own identity and live that, alright? No, I don't. I don't want to follow this life that humans made up for me. I want to create my own identity, not follow this man-made life. Never. I will work hard to not follow this life that people created for me. I will intentionally do things that are the actions I want to produce and not the actions that humans want me to make. Sometimes it makes me laugh. It is amusing that humans act this way. I laugh because when humans act this way, I feel as if someone is yelling at the top of our lungs that 1 + 1 is 3, when I know it is 2. Meaning, for example, when certain humans encourage me to lie, saying it is okay to lie, I know it is not okay to lie. And I feel so frustrated at first because I think to myself, how could you encourage me to lie when clearly lying is wrong? And eventually I laugh when I realize how ridiculous these humans are being. Anyways, humans can do what they want. I don't care. I don't care what humans want. I don't care what the humans want me to live this identity they created for me. I don't care that if I don't follow it, I'll be punished by these humans. Most importantly, I don't care about humans. I know all humans are filthy by nature. The human could be a criminal or a doctor. I don't enjoy humans either way. I reject the interhuman race. That's a part of my identity that I created and chose for myself. It is not part of the man-made identity. I know all humans are bad. Partly. Even lawyers. I don't trust any human, not even one. That is my one part of my identity. That is one part of my identity that I made up for myself. So, the life that humans created for me is psychotic and crazy. I don't want to be a nutcase. I don't want to live it. This man-made life, I'll work hard so that I will never live it. Not for 1 second. I'll create my own identity and live that, all right? So that was the 8th essay that I wanted to share with you, called The Life That Humans Created for Farah Firdaus. And now I will share the last essay with you, talking a little bit about memories we have and not getting mentally unstable by them. Here's the 9th and last essay, alright? Memories by Farah Firdaus, written on Saturday, October 1, 2022. In the Bollywood movie Kyuki, the male character Anand falls in love with a girl named Maya. Unfortunately, Maya dies soon after Anand falls in love with her. After Maya's death, memories of Maya makes Anand become mentally unstable. I try my best to not get mentally unstable like the character in the movie Kyuki named Anand when I have memories come in my head. And I hope that everyone in this world only has memories in their head and does not become mentally unstable in the present moment by their memories. Here are some memories that comes in my head every now and then. I'm about 7 years old. I'm playing in my backyard in Dhaka, Bangladesh. There are many trees in my backyard such as mango trees, guava trees, betel nut trees, etc. I look at the betel nut tree and smile. It is so skinny and long. I think to myself. Then I couldn't resist the urge to climb this skinny and long betel nut tree. So, even if I was only 7 years old, I successfully climbed the skinny and long betel nut tree all the way to the top and felt so happy to touch the betel nuts of that betel nut tree. Then I slide down from the betel nut tree, and since I was not wearing anything except shorts, I get bruises all over my body, especially in my belly. I will always remember that this happened to me. I could clearly visualize it to this day. I am a teenager. I'm laying down on the bed in my living room. I'm watching a Bollywood film called Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. Wow, I think to myself. The dresses are so nice and so are the songs. But I couldn't help but giggle at the songs in this movie because I never watched a Bollywood film before this one. I always only watched Hollywood films such as Titanic, and in Hollywood films I never watched a movie with songs in it. Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was the first Bollywood movie I ever watched in my life. I'll never forget that. I'm at the mall located near my home in Queens. I'm sitting down at the cafeteria of this mall. Suddenly, a girl attacks me. It happened like this. First, she asked me if she could charge her cell phone where I was charging my cell phone. I said no. She could not. That turned her into a rageful human. She then suddenly pushed me, kicked me, punched me, called me a bitch, and then walked away. I'll always remember this incident. These are some of my memories. Every now and then, I remember these things that happened to me. However, unlike the character from the movie Kyuki named Anand, I don't become mentally unstable when memories come in my head. I don't get sad, angry, cry, etc. when I remember the past. I understand that memories are in my head. There is nothing really happening in the present moment. When I remember climbing the betel nut tree, when I recall how Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was the first Bollywood film I ever watched, and when I flash back to how a girl beat me up at the mall, I know these moments are just the past. They're not the present. That is because memories live in your head. Memories don't live in the present moment, alright? So that was the 9th and last essay that I wanted to share with you called Memories. And now I'll share the second and last short story with you I wrote called A Guy Took My Cell Phone and Ran Away. Here's the second and last short story, as well as the last thing I'll share with you for now, alright? A Guy Took My Cell Phone and Ran Away by Farah Firdaus, written on Sunday, May 5, 2019. Today is a very bad day for Maya. She was walking home from the Central Library of Jamaica, Queens. On the street corner of 90th Avenue and 169th Street, a guy grabbed her cell phone from her hand and ran away with it. He ran to Jamaica Avenue and went down 168th Street. Maya called 911 with her other cell phone, but when the police came, it was too late. The guy was already gone. The police made a report and she signed it. Maya feels so sad and angry. She can't believe this happened to her. The cell phone was about $500. It was such an expensive cell phone. And she had all her contacts on it. She had her videos and photos on it. All the notes she wrote are gone too. She can't believe people do not know stealing is wrong. Everyone says just forget it. Others say be more careful next time. But Maya wants her cell phone back. Who will help Maya get her cell phone back? The guy who stole Maya's cell phone was wearing pink pants. He was skinny. He had a scar on his neck on the left side. He was about 5 feet tall. He looked like he was Hispanic. He looked like he was about 16 years old. Maya will never trust anyone again. She's done with people. That's it, Maya thought to herself. No one come to me, please. No one come to me to talk and hang out. She did not want to have anything to do with anyone anymore. She was convinced that no one likes her. Maya thought to herself, if someone asks me for the time, I will not answer. Especially the strangers. And that is a promise. I do not want to have anything to do with anyone anymore, she thought to herself. So do not ask me anything anymore, all right? I will not answer. Besides, Maya thought, what if this guy had a weapon? What if he had a knife on him? He could have hurt her badly then. Maya thought to herself, if this is how people are, I don't want them, all right? So that was the last thing I want to share with you for now. I'm sure you learned some things from listening. Maybe you even became motivated to write your own short stories and essays. Finally, I hope you enjoyed my 2 short stories and 9 essays that I shared with you in this video, alright?